insane. The animator here named Birdie, oh shit, I accidentally removed that from the docket. Let me put that right on back. There we go. This person named Birdie, who's an animator of some sort, and Synni Bear, who is the pedophile groomer of Birdie and others. And the reason why we're talking about this is because Synni Bear, the woman who groomed this pedophile, decided to drop an apology video. And we're not going to watch the apology video because it's a woe is me situation. So fuck them. And I figured, let's just sit back, get a little cozy, and just look at the history of these two fucking degenerates. And we'll take a look at Just a Robot on a later stream, because I know that guy's that's a whole can of worms over there. So let's start with Birdie here, since it's the first video. And then we'll do Synni. Again, shout out to Toastify. Before we get started, let me go ahead and let me let y'all know we're not going to watch the full video, because I would prefer if you, the viewer, goes to check him out, rather than come over here and watch it on my stream. We're going to be covering a couple of the chapters here. We're going to do the first couple of chapters, and then we're going to do introduction, hatchling, and then we're going to jump over to obsession. Yeah, we got this. Let's do it. Oh my goodness, I'm sorry I did not send it to their chat. Hang on. There we go. Let's go. Let's get started.
Seriously sick of this drama.
Just give me a moment, okay? Tell me it's either yes or no. I just need a moment. It's yes please or go no. Upstairs, you're gonna know.
And yes, I do acknowledge that it was wrong to include a 9-year-old OC in 2 of the drawings. And if I ever do draw an NSFW again,
just go.
Okay. Oh my god, wait. Just I sincerely would like to apologize for drawing this a 9-year-old in this 9-year-old's OC. Which that's a fucking wild sentence, dog.
Oh, okay. That's very dangerous. I'm in the middle of something really important. I just told you.
I also understand that some of the things I've done are genuinely unforgivable. And if you feel uncomfortable or unsafe viewing my content because of that, you don't have to stick around.
This absolute disgusting monstrosity that walks among humanity in their skins did these things to these kids and
is that Krista Narks? Jesus Christ.
Encourage these kids.
Coastify the goat.
The history of the user known as Birdie is one of the most disturbing cautionary tales to be found online. Though you may have only heard of him recently due to his friendship and fallout with the infamous animator SynniBear03, his history goes far, far beyond that.
Wait, his?
Birdie's online career...
Wait, it sounded... Oh, there. It's a trans. Okay. Alright, never mind. We're gonna stop what I was about to say. Let's go.
Started back in 2017 in the animation meme community on YouTube, and by age 13 he had gathered...
Alright, you know what, fuck it, I'm dropping it anyway. If you're going to identify as a man, if you're going from, like, female to male, can you put in some effort to sound masculine, please? Like, sound like a man?
Gathered nearly 100,000 subscribers, but the sudden interest wasn't as much from art as it was the constant cycle of drama.
My pronouns are he, him. Well, can you sound the part, please?
Petty disputes between middle schooler artists, often mixed with dark adult themes and aired out for the public to see. An entire web of depraved private roleplays, breakups, threats, doxing campaigns. And Birdie stood at the center of this web for years, both on the receiving end of these attacks and just as much a perpetrator of it. As the years rolled by, this Lord of the Flies model only got more convoluted and extreme, and since then, no one has successfully attempted to put the story together. The accepted narrative today is that Birdie was wrongly cancelled for basically nothing. But how true does that really ring? This is the sordid history of Birdie.
Alright, Toastify, show me what you got.
What we know about Birdie's early life and much of the information about his family comes from Birdie's own accounts over the years. It's worth noting that throughout his online presence, he's been an incredibly unreliable narrator, with his claims about others having little to any evidence, whilst the claims against him are backed up with piles of proof. At least in this case, there's not much evidence you could really
You hate to see it.
get for personal familial issues, and some of the claims against his family have been supported by his siblings. Regardless, please take what is presented with a pinch of salt. Birdie was born on September 22, 2004, to a family in the state of Washington. He was born female at birth, but later transitioned and took the name of Jack.
Come on,
right from the
man.
beginning, troubles were awry, as Birdie once claimed he almost died during his birth, encountering complications. He would soon grow to become the middle child of 7 siblings, with a few of them even being
Jesus
wrapped up
Christ.
into Birdie's online antics, most particularly his younger sister Alvina. If the sheer number of siblings that Birdie has alarms you, it may be because Birdie describes his parents as being obsessed with sexual topics, along with being conservative, Trump-supporting racist, sexist,
What?
homophobes, transphobes,
Oh, okay, so that's where the the unreliable narrator kicks in. Gotcha.
anti-vaxxers and conspiracy theorists. Not
Hold on, you forgot to include Nazi pedophiles. I think that'll work, right?
all these claims can be confirmed, and it really seems like rattling off a checklist, but we can say with some certainty that Birdie's mom is a definite nutjob. Pictures from a public Facebook account show her obsession with private parts, as she even kept glass statues of them around the house. Many
Okay, well, all right, yeah, so all right, so sex obsessed is accurate. All right, gotcha.
view this as a reason why, as you'll soon see, Birdie was discussing adult topics, including sexual ones, in a really descriptive and often violent manner at a young age. Birdie's mother also had a relationship with a different man before meeting Birdie's father, and at some point before 2021, apparently cheated on him with 2 other men for foreskin pictures, causing a definite rift in his parents' relationship. Birdie explained that his parents fought pretty often and almost separated in 2018. We know that they weren't well off, even aside from relationship struggles, considering that his mom never had a job and his dad quit his job at Taco Bell at some point when Birdie was living with them. Because of this, it's likely the family is just living off benefits. Something that adds to this idea is that Birdie's mom would supposedly give bad reviews to psychologists who wouldn't diagnose her children with the disability she wanted, such as
Oh, so she... Alright, it's even Munchausen's, okay.
autism, and kept changing doctors until
Dude, that's so alright. Alright, this is like super fucked. Holy hell. Well, I see where bad shit happens.
she got satisfactory results. It's possible she was looking for a specific diagnosis so that the family could qualify for more benefits. Because of this, it puts into
That is so fucked up, dude. Oh, the light's going out. That's so fucked up. Yeah, I think, hey guys, daring and brave take. Maybe we should reform healthcare. No.
question the things Birdie was diagnosed with as a child. Now, Birdie has directly accused his parents of abuse. However, what's real and what's fake is really hard to discern. Birdie's definition of it extends from "they turned my Wi-Fi off" to alleging physical, verbal, and sexual wrongdoing, which the parents have denied. It's hard to tell whether they were too harsh that they pushed Birdie away to the
I'm sorry, that's kind of fucked. Can you imagine just like... Birdie's parents respond to the... Make it like a drama video. They responded, and it's like the title is something like parents respond to abuse allegations, and it's just it's Daddy 05. Like, all right. They have responded to the abuse allegations. Okay, cool.
internet or too passive by letting him run free on it. At times, they did genuinely take Birdie offline because they knew something was wrong. However, Birdie seems to paint them out as utter psychopaths who would even watch videos that people made about him on the living room TV. Forgive me for not believing that. It's likely the parents were neglective to a certain degree. Some of Birdie's siblings have stated the same, and CPS has been called on the house a few times. The parents are definitely not completely innocent. When it comes to Birdie's schooling, you'd think the string of bad luck would have ended there, but it turns out that not only were his parents abusive, but also apparently his teachers were as well. Due to his diagnosis of autism and issues functioning in a regular classroom, Birdie was in a sort of special classroom from ages 9 to 11. He claims that during this time, his teachers would lock him in an empty isolation room, similar to sensory deprivation. From not doing anything when he tried to choke on his hair, to being careless and giving him bruises and scratches whilst restraining him, Birdie pretty much describes his teachers as awful people, and even had plans to kill them. Plans that went so far that the police apparently got involved, and that would not be the only time. According to Birdie, when he was around 11 years old, he went on a rampage destroying his sister's bedroom, ripping things apart and such. His parents then retaliated by attacking him, and Birdie defended himself by attacking his father with a fork and drawing blood. The main thing that stays consistent with this story is the use of a fork as a weapon, and his presence would stretch him.
Wait, so the only thing that's... Alright.
Rebranding his channel in 2019 to be Around Forks. This whole fork stabbing incident led to Birdie being in police custody again, where he had to wait inside the back of a police car for an extended period of time, along with required therapy used to treat personality disorders. Aside from these two particular instances, Birdie's sister Alvina claims that as early as 2nd grade, when Birdie would have been 6 years old, he was already hitting the other children, and when he was 9 he tried to suffocate Alvina herself, despite him saying he viewed her as his favourite sibling. It's worth noting that Birdie denies his accusations from Alvina, but like I said, he has a history of lying. This is likely why Birdie was not allowed in a regular school setting. I'm no psychologist, so I can't say anything definitive about this all, but I think it's clear that Birdie has been unstable since he was a child. However, it's also worth noting that despite—
You think, dog? I mean, this is insane to hear. Like, well, a better question is, like, what is... Alright, were the parents actually abusive? Or is it, like, is the shit he's claiming, is it true, or is it like... Alright, so the only thing I know the only thing we got is like the sex objects. Like, okay, well, alright, and I'm sorry, it's kind of hard to believe that, to know that CPS has been called, or I don't know if CPS showed up. I'm assuming CPS has shown up to their house. I cannot imagine being a CPS agent walking in there and seeing a bunch of, like, glass penises just on, like, the mantle and just going, yeah, that's fine for this is alright. And I probably, like, I don't know.
growing up in these same conditions, none of
I don't know, I'm not a CPS agent, so maybe, what do I know?
Birdie's siblings turned out the same way. It's a big thought of nature versus nurture. All this information about Birdie's childhood comes from a variety of sources, including himself, his siblings, and his parents. It's likely the truth is a blend of a lot of these claims.
Oh yeah. All right, we're gonna skip this segment. We're going to jump to. Is this where Synni Bear hops in? No, we're gonna jump over to Obsession. Again, if you guys want to watch the full one, Toastfly's channel, the link is in the chat. And in the description as well for the VOD watchers.
Seen before.
Oh shit.
Rather than the NSFW art we've seen before and allusions to SA, Birdie's obsession with Heimguts reached a new level. The constant breaking up and getting back together certainly didn't help, but this was beyond a toxic relationship. Look no further than the private comic that Birdie made about Heimguts, titled IDMT, or I Dropped My Tortilla. This is unironically a comic about Birdie asking the devil to get Heimguts to love him. The plot details everything from breaking into Heim's house and essaying him to
Jesus Christ, okay.
failing to drug him with a love potion and him again, getting jailed for it this time. The story ends with Birdie breaking out and kidnapping Heimguts, putting him in a secret underground room for weeks, and then putting drugs in his food that make him pass out, so
I'm sorry, oh boy, alright.
He could him for as long as he wants. As dark and almost absurd as this was, it appears to be an expression of real feelings from Birdie, as per a timeline he made of his opinion of Heimguts. See that the lines constantly switch back and forth between wants dead and wants to rape/kidnap/stalk, but is limited. Now obviously these are ideas that no normal child of Birdie's age would be having, and it's perhaps no surprise that outside factors impacted this. For 2 months in 2018, Birdie was groomed by a man in his late 20s who went under the name of Maddie. They initially met due to claim that they had information on Toxic,
Fucking sick, dude.
and from then on entered a pretty terrible relationship. Another man in their 20s by the name of
You know, Leaflet would sit there, look at the situation, and go, "Hey, where were the parents?" I mean, if you really think about it, Birdie deserved to get What was Birdie? But have we considered what Birdie was wearing?
Garbage also made a huge impact and encouraged Birdie to be as degenerate as they wanted. This culminated in probably Birdie's most infamous incident to date. After waiting until his family were out of the house, he attempted to his pet ferret Chara. Chara was a pet that Birdie's family had received when she was only one.
I'm sorry. Like, kill the ferret? I don't know. What was the censor? Hang on. I have no idea why I did. I genuinely have no idea why I did that. When I was 13, I was being manipulated by Maddie. I have no idea why. But when my family left the house, I tried to make Chara do... Wait. Make Chara do on me. I'm so upset at 13-year-old me. I didn't even go through with it. I was so ashamed. I don't abuse animals. It was the one thing which, like, I said I have no idea why I did that. Why? I love Char so much. I would never do that. She's like a daughter to me. What? Okay, hang on. Did she try to fuck a ferret? Did Birdie try to fuck her ferret? Is that what it says? Like, do fuck or do... Oh my god, did she try to get the... Oh god, wait. But why? Wait, but you're... Oh, okay. Alright, we're gonna...
Birdie's most infamous...
Let me just finish. I thought I'd take the secret to the grave, but now you know how much I trust you. Oh, well, fuck. I mean... Now you know how much I trust you. Well, considering that it's in a Toastify video, I think your trust was misplaced. Just taking a stab at the dark.
Incident to date. After waiting until his family were out of the house, he attempted to his pet ferret Chara. Chara was a pet that Birdie's family had received when she was only 1 year old, and had quickly become Birdie's most treasured pet. He would make accounts with Chara's name and drew it as a character in his videos, which makes this event all the more
Yo, pirate software? No.
worse. It's worth noting that whilst this event with Chara has become infamous for those who have only dug a little into Birdie's history, there were heavy outside influences, and there are bad things that Birdie has done to his ferret that he's much more responsible for. IDMT was not the only indication of his serious...
I'm sorry, what the fuck else could he have possibly... I'm sorry. What is worse than trying to have some level of fucking physical intercourse with a pet? Like a pet ferret? Like, what could possibly be worse?
The deranged obsession that Birdie had with Heimguts. Over the months, as there were more breakups, Birdie began to
well, I mean, I guess pedophilia could be. I mean,
reach cartoonish stalker levels. For a decent while, he had a shrine dedicated to Heimguts in his bedroom, with its centerpiece being a printed picture of Heim's face that he taped to the wall and talked to every day. Birdie also sewed several plushies of Heimguts characters to cuddle with, and aspired to one day infuse them with Heim's saliva or blood. There are plenty of dreams that Birdie had about Heimguts, including various fantasies about SA. Birdie also had a folder about Heimguts on his laptop.
Bro, did she rape this kid? Or I'm assuming that Heimguts is a kid. Oh no. Oh no, what have I gotten myself into?
Of 2,000 plus items, like pictures of Heimguts and DMs they had together. Birdie also doxed Heim to others, knew what he was doing was disgusting and sometimes relished in it, and actively manipulated the situation to his advantage. Whenever Heimguts would get a glimpse of his psychotic machinations, and obviously broke up, being freaked out, Birdie admitted that he would use his friends to manipulate Heim into saying that he's changed, almost like lulling him into a false sense of security. This got to the point that the two almost met each other during Thanksgiving, but thankfully that fell apart. Birdie's world had become solely attached to the internet and the people on there, even if they had terrible intentions in their minds, and his attachment would be proven in a stream to YouTube on July 30th, 2018. During the late hours, Birdie was streaming and going well past his bedtime. His dad noticed this, came in and told him to turn off the computer.
And that is the worst thing he could have possibly done. Listen, trying to fuck a ferret, that's pretty bad. But staying up past bedtime, that I cannot stand.
Birdie refused, and his dad threatened to turn off
whoops.
the internet for the night if he didn't go to sleep.
Alright, that's
Or
fair.
maybe if I had my computer in.
Are you fucking serious? There's no fucking... Why do we have... I'm sorry. Why do we have audio of this happening? What's gonna... Oh, God. Dude, I swear. I don't think Toastify will do it. But I swear, if it's, like, audio of, like, the dad, you know, fucking tossing a right hook at him, you know? Maybe you'll be like, alright, maybe we should cut this part. We should skip to the next chapter.
My
It's
room.
not gonna happen, and we could still hear.
I wanna
it
hear this.
upstairs.
Well, can you, like, not come in here because you're gonna cause drama?
What? What does that even
It
mean?
can be on if you're talking during the day, but not at night. It's 3 in the morning. Now.
I'll turn it up to the max.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. 2:45, it's 3 in the morning. I think we can control the time.
Dad, stop! You're gonna make someone hate me!
Son, you know what? Stop! You're gonna make someone hate me. She's like, how the fuck does that mean? All right. Dad, please don't. Dad, do not enforce any rules on me. Someone's gonna hate me for it. Like, what? All right.
Well, it would be fine because he won't be on the internet at all.
I can't really hear the dad.
If you cut off the internet, I'm gonna myself. You know.
Maybe it's the benefit of the dad. I mean, I'm sorry, that's fucked, but like, you know, if you turn off the internet, I'm gonna hurt myself. Just the dad stands in the doorway, just goes, "Do it." No balls.
Know that.
In present time, Birdie has gone on to provide more context for this, saying that he believed his dad was going to turn off the internet forever, not just for the night, and that affected him because his whole life was on the internet. But as others
Sounds like a good reason to cut the internet off. to
saw
be
this,
honest.
it was a direct confirmation that Birdie would threaten his life just to get what he wanted, and his behaviour since then wouldn't help, especially when it came to the incident that ultimately destroyed his positive relationship with Heimguts. According to sources who are more biased towards Heim, Birdie was in their friend group chat with Heim, Dodgedust, and a few others,
I do appreciate that he does state that these people are far more biased toward the Heim guy, because it could be that at least allows like a person like me who knows nothing about the story to say, okay, take this with a grain of salt. I do quite appreciate that. Thank you.
and expressing intentions to end it all. The others tried to help him, but he went quiet and stopped saying anything, so everyone just left. If he wasn't engaging with it, he was probably baiting for something. Birdie then posted an event apparently painting everyone in the group chat as just evil, and it completely tore the group chat apart. In response to this, Doge just raided Birdie's Discord server, before then breaking into his DeviantArt account and vandalizing it with LeBron James Sprite Cranberry memes and cringy roleplays. The account would be renamed to Sprite Cranbirdie, a name he kept for quite a while actually. Birdie would get his account back and accuse Heimguts of being involved in the hack with no evidence other than proximity. And despite multiple people telling him and proving that Heimguts wasn't involved, he still kept up the lie. This prompted Heim and Dodgedust to post an entire Google Drive and change.org petition on the 21st of December 2018, alongside a low-quality stream on the Dodgedust channel. The drive mainly aims to prove that Birdie's constant obsession had made Heimguts completely stressed, to the point of being sent to a mental hospital. Inside, it documents many of the obsessive things that Birdie had said about Heimguts, and much of what we've already seen in this segment. The publication of this drive seemed reasonable to the
Seems kind of... Okay, so they were just fucking with him. Okay.
public, and as they saw it, Birdie's behaviour here was disgusting and lined up with past actions. But despite posting an entire Google Drive and change.org petition, as well as a stream, and claiming that Birdie's actions sent Heim to a mental hospital, the two of them got back together on the 25th of
Oh. Dude was out. Dude made it. And it's... Oh, fuck. Come on. It's like, I'm free, but... At what cost? He looks off into the distance. At what cost? I ask myself this question often. Maybe, Maybe I will get back with her. Meanwhile, everyone else, no, don't, please. I also, why are you, okay. Okay, good, Mega Bonk's done. That's so strange. Like, why even why? I mean, you know, it's probably just like young. It's just youthful stuff. You know, you date somebody, you think, oh, I'm gonna love them forever, and then it's like, oh, turn to shocker. It may not work out as well as you think.
December. This relationship between Birdie and Heimguts is the last one they had, and it was explicitly sexual between both of them. Heimguts would be completely invested with Birdie's obsessive creations like IDMT or his plushies, and even compared himself to Birdie's groomer Maddie at some points. They broke up again on January 2nd, 2019 for the last time, but their fights with each other would not end there.
Alright. Is that the next chapter? Okay, alright, resentment. Here's what we're going to do. We are going to jump. Yes, that is Mega Bonk that's playing right now. Sorry. I want to turn down the audio. Alright, we are going to skip to another chapter. We're going to do Roll the Dice. Again, make sure to check out the full video in the description and in the chat.
Dice.
Also, I gotta say, I love Toastify's little intermission and transitions between chapters. They're just so fucking keynote, dog.
Often described as a cult, DICE was essentially an online group of kids dedicated to bringing the worst out of each other. A Discord server hierarchy numbering in hundreds of members, where people were often encouraged to harm themselves, harm others, and indulge in degeneracy. The group began with its creator and leader, Mortis.
Sounds like Nuxtaku's type of place.
A 15-year-old from Ireland that created DICE as a splinter off of another larger group named Trash Cult. Mortis was obsessed with Birdie during 2020 and 2021, even being one of his many impersonators, and it was during May 2021 that they became friends despite her many disgusting actions.
I saw that one picture of you, I guess, doing your dog. What happened with that? Is that like...
What the fuck? What? Doing your dog? I'm sorry. I just...
Real
just ignore me.
Shit.
Well, I haven't done it for like years.
So,
oh,
you're doing it.
Okay.
Yeah, I do. Well, sometimes when I look at my dog, I just feel bad. I don't know. It makes me feel gross, but at the same time, I still like that sort of stuff.
The group itself has a far bigger and more disgusting history that will not be discussed in this, as we're only going to take a look at Birdie's involvement. And you might be surprised because it's a lot more than Birdie lets on. To this day, Birdie has said that he was in a bad mental state when he went into this cult, and that he was only there for around 2 weeks, which is technically true, but his impact whilst in DICE is a lot more than he lets on to this day. Earlier this year, an account by the name of Cherry came out with screenshots accusing Birdie, who was 16, of being in group chats with 12-year-olds and encouraging them to SH. This included pictures, tips on how to do it effectively, and videos. Another account by the name of Edward
Shit, this is Nuxtaku's Discord. Fuck, what the hell?
expressed that Birdie joining the server and talking about it publicly had only led more people to join the server and get harmed themselves. Related to this as well, a year after leaving DICE, so in 2022, Purple and Draggy would operate a Sting account posing as an 11-year-old girl named Olive, trying to ensnare Birdie as a pedo. What they did get is Birdie asking someone they believe to be an 11-year-old that they should still draw gore and cannibalism art. There is simply no excuse for the fact that Birdie was exposing this stuff directly to people much younger than him, and the fact that it was being normalized when Birdie came back as an adult just adds to this. Following his involvement with DICE, Birdie would mostly leave the public eye for the next 3 years, due to intervention from his parents after one of Birdie's siblings had an internet addiction. Ironic considering I imagine Birdie would be the prime example when looking for that, but sure, okay. Now, a lot of the information in this segment mainly comes from Birdie's video I'm Back, that explains his side of everything. So again, take it with a pinch of salt, we don't have much of the other side. By the time that Birdie had broken up with Jay, he says that he began to deteriorate. He notes that his parents once swarmed into the basement and yelled through the door of his his bedroom for an hour whilst he was hiding, saying that Birdie was lazy and faking depression to be a victim. After that, they cut off the internet, which led to another psychotic break for months.
Well, guess,
Birdie would later be
on...
diagnosed with psychosis or schizospec in September 2023. It's still unclear.
That is so funny. Like, we don't really know what it is. It could be this, could be this, or it could be that. We don't fully know what level, what type of crazy you are. Let's refresh. Let's keep going.
I don't know which one. On one instance, Birdie claimed that he tried to end it all, and his parents refused to give medical attention and threatened to call the police because he was threatening them to take him to the hospital. Birdie eventually got his internet back through loopholes and decided to finally start studying for a job. But at the beginning...
Alright, that's not a good enough explanation. Hang on.
Got his internet back through loopholes and decided to finally start studying for a job.
I thought it was like a Discord message. I was going to read it.
But at the beginning of 2023, his parents just decided to randomly kick him out as he was 18 now. No reason provided than just his age, according to Birdie. So he then had to go live with his grandma. Now initially his grandma was accepting of him, but issues arose because Birdie wouldn't wake up to go to school on his own or do his homework himself at age 18. There's a plethora of disorders cited along this, including an undiagnosed heart condition, but some of these issues seem totally on Birdie. At one point he talks about the fact that he had to just bring in a laptop to school and do his work on the corner, but if he forgot to bring his laptop, he wouldn't be able to do anything. He paints himself as the victim in this and the staff neglecting him, but I just have to ask, who on earth forgets to bring a heavy-ass laptop, especially when it's the one thing they need to bring? Over time, Birdie's grandma started to get sick of him and became more aggressive. She accused him of being manipulative, Birdie said she was being verbally abusive, and this led to Birdie getting kicked out and staying at a home.
Alright, this is not a defense of Birdie. Let me just say this. Everyone here has had grandparents or has dealt with older people. A lot of them are cranky. A lot of them fucking hate you, like love you one day, but then it's just, well, actually, I don't want to be around you. Get the fuck away from me. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, well, gee, thanks, Grandma. What's going on here? God, I asked you to do some shit, and yet you have not done it yet. Get the fuck out of my house. Like, I'm sorry. It's even. It gets even worse when. Oh fuck. Okay. It gets even worse when they start developing like the brain problems. It sucks so much, dog. So I don't think that's what happened here, but it just made me think of that. Sorry. Let's continue.
The shelter. During a stay at the homeless shelter, this was also apparently hell on earth, as the water was dirty and people swatted and pizza bombed the place. Birdie was then picked up from the shelter by his nana and lived in her house with his husband. He got a room in their garage, but apparently it turns out his nana and her husband were also abusive to Birdie. They all had fights with each other before—
Jesus Christ, is everyone just fucking raping her? Like, what's going— him? Sorry? What's going on here?
he went back to the homeless shelter and then back to his parents' house.
As far as rape, as far as the eye can see.
This is despite the fact his nana offered him her beach house to live in, which I imagine most people who were homeless would grasp that opportunity at the first time of asking. Now you may be thinking, why didn't Birdie just go to a friend's house, sleep over on the sofa? And to be fair, an attempt was made, but its existence has only brought more accusations against Birdie.
What, really? Alright, a bird and a bear, what's going on here?
As soon as Birdie got his internet back in 2022 through undisclosed loopholes, he was in communications with his internet friends. Keep in mind, he had no IRL friends at 16, so his closest friend was Refixed, or the Maryland guy, as he's known by others. Refix was a close friend who had offered to house Birdie in their home in Maryland. However, in Birdie's I'm Back video, Birdie goes on to accuse Refix of emotional abuse, saying he bribed them with gifts and held them above his head as manipulation. Refix would then block him just as he was ready to leave for Maryland and went on to harass Birdie, leaking artwork and vents and causing another psychotic break and insane paranoia. Unsurprisingly, this has since been contested by Refix, who posted his own side on Twitter with more evidence to add. During their friendship, Refix kind of played the role of being Birdie's wrangler, holding him back. In fact, he apparently was the person who got Birdie out of Dice. per his side, he was a completely providing friend who was constantly stressed by Birdie's overdependence on him. He consistently felt that he was responsible for Birdie's life, and him changing his profile picture to make it seem like it was ending only added to the stress. At some points, Refix felt like he was the reason. The DM shown paint out Birdie as an obsessive partner of sorts, even if they weren't technically in a relationship. There was a need to constantly talk, and when Refix did something else for a few hours, Birdie would start to melt down. He would go on to isolate Refix from his friends, and after their relationship, would make YouTube accounts to harass him. As for Refix's harassment, it seems there was a bit more beyond the cropped screenshot, as Birdie had sent someone to forward a cruel message to him on Facebook Messenger. Then he replied asking to leave him alone, and Birdie framed it as him just being attacked out of nowhere. With seemingly nowhere to go, the bridge burned with Refix, and not looking good with anyone in his family, Birdie really needed a Hail Mary to keep them off the streets, or away from his Nana's beach house, and one came down from Missouri to Washington in the form—
Oh, fuck. Alright. Jesus, wait, now we're finally meeting Synni Bear in this story? Jesus Christ. Holy shit, dude. Like, almost the, like, 3/4 of the video's done. It's like, alright, now Synni Bear shows up. Like, Jesus.
of Synni Bear 03. Birdie and Synni had been talking with each other and rekindling their friendship, and after being left with no option—
What, did she rape her sorry, I'm sorry. What, did Synni Bear rape him too? Like, Jesus Christ.
Birdie went to live—
well, I mean, well, considering Synni likes them young, I don't think would have went for Birdie. Wait, actually, I never even thought of that. How old is Birdie at this point?
with Synni. The two drove back to Missouri and cuddled with each other on the first night watching videos. For now, it seemed like Birdie had finally found a home where they could feel safe inside. But having moved so far, it would take a while for Birdie to set his new life up. In the meantime, his identity was obscured, and he was only referred to as Jimmy by Synni Bear whilst on stream, for example. Birdie's grand return came on April 14th, 2024. This video, titled I'm Back, aims to be the be-all end-all of Birdie drama videos. However, it's filled with a lot of obscuration and misinformation. Standout points include Birdie calling Kitty Dog a groomer when he was 12 and she was 14, and then saying that his relationship with Draggy when he was 16 and Draggy was 13 was actually not grooming because he was in a lesser state of mind that time.
Okay. Well, officer, you don't understand the reason. Officer, you don't understand. The reason I sodomized this sheep is because I was just drunk that night, and the sheep looked so hot. Like.
Because it's genuinely traumatic for me, but I will include some screenshots in this section as I elaborate.
Yeah, but like, fuck the kid, right?
This shouldn't have been drama in the first place, but Kitty Dog encouraged me to make drawings like those, and that's why they exist. I know a few of you are probably gonna—
That is not a good answer, bro. Not at all.
I say this as some sort of counter-argument, so I'd like to acknowledge it. The age gap wasn't, like, huge. I was 12 and she was 14. But, like, let's not get caught up in the logistics of grooming. I am not misusing the word. I can confidently say that this is what this was. There was a huge power dynamic. Kitty Dog was aware of the power she had over me, being a massive creator that I looked up to, and I was not old enough to consent to these things. I was—
Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. Wait. What?
12. Another thing to bring into consideration is that apparently Kitty Dog was also being groomed during this time.
Okay, I'm sorry. I thought the ages were reversed. I thought Birdie was 14 and this other person was 12. I was like, what? What the fuck? What?
Time period, but this still doesn't excuse her behavior. Especially when we consider COCSA to be a trauma response, which stands for child-on-child sexual abuse. Exactly 5 days after said break.
Is that a thing? I mean, actually, no, don't answer that. Never mind.
I was asked out by my former friend Draggy, who was 13. I was 16, and it was my responsibility as the older person to turn them down. But because of the mental state I was in, I was unable to make the right decision. They were entirely aware of
my
the
mental was fucked up. Sorry, I had to groom you.
They insisted that they wanted to date me, so I agreed. Our relationship lasted less than a week, and nothing of a romantic or sexual nature happened at all. You can also see several instances of me establishing with them that I was not in the right state of mind to be making any proper decisions. But despite the sheer amount of times I said I wasn't in the right state of mind, they continued to pursue me anyways, which, I mean, what can I say? They were 13. Again, it was my responsibility.
I'm not even gonna lie. I thought he was gonna say something along the lines of, "What do you expect? What do you expect? I'm hot." Jesus Christ, dude.
To turn them down, which I would have done if I was, like, lucid. But in all honesty, I think I was taken advantage of.
See guys, I didn't groom Draggy because I was mentally all gone, not on the right state of mind. But that doesn't apply to Kitty Dog, even though she was being groomed at the time. The double standard is incredibly blatant and malicious. He also addresses the Heimgut situation and ultimately apologizes, but in this segment he tries to make an equivalence by showing a period of harassment that Heim did for a couple of months, as opposed to Birdie's 3 years straight of harassment. And also, let's play Birdie's admission statement here.
I would like to take accountability for my behavior towards him. When I was 12 to 15 years old, I had an intense obsession with him, which included me archiving all of his art and making videos about him constantly, and sexualizing him, stealing his OCs, borderline stalking him, doxing him, and encouraging harassment of him. This is something that I believe that I genuinely needed to be held accountable for, and thank you to all of you who did, but the harassment that I received—
Oh my god. I listen, you guys really fucked with my life, and I really appreciate it.
received because—
Also, alright, considering I'm looking at all this shit in the background that's drawn. Invader Zim, some fucking LGBT leggings, fucking Germa. Considering the story we just heard about your ferret, maybe don't draw him in the background.
this was not okay.
Having seen the context and everything that went on here, do you think the statement with no screenshots is representative of what really happened? I mean, he still makes a heavy implication that his stuff with Heimgut in 2018 was non-consensual, despite the fact that was easily disproven.
Malachi managed to get my entire audience on his side for a long time while manipulating me and gaslighting me for several years. We dated 8 times, I believe, and he took advantage of me sexually. He created an alt account so that he could interact with me. Weirdly enough, while taking advantage of me—
This is exactly why a video like this had to be made that looked at Birdie's past. He is still lying about this. The fact that a video about Birdie's past wasn't made before gave Birdie the opportunity to slither out of his own past. I would not be covering what a 14-year-old was doing online if Birdie wasn't being openly and verifiably dishonest about what happened to everyone. This entire video seems to be symptomatic of how Birdie will overextend on his claims against someone to make them look worse, essentially exaggerating and lying and adding more and more on top as long as he can get away with it. He could have just left it at Kitty Dog may be uncomfortable during New Year's, something that he has evidence for. But no, he goes above and beyond and says they're a groomer, without realizing these same standards could be applied to him. Another thing worth addressing is the excuse that, well, I was psychotic. You see Birdie using this in the video a couple of times, especially with the Draggy segment, and you see a lot of Birdie fans using this as a defense. In fact, some of them may have already commented it before watching the video. Here's the thing, we're still unclear on what Birdie is diagnosed with. I'm not a psychologist, and I doubt you are either. So all we can see is that we have no idea what Birdie actually has. Birdie says in his video that he was diagnosed with psychosis both back when he was 14 and in September 2023, except he's not sure which disorder it actually is, so he just calls it psychosis. And when he was diagnosed when he was 14, he was actively also lying to his therapist, and complaining his therapist wouldn't diagnose him properly, and by his therapist, he means his school counselor. You see what I mean? Was I lazy going to school? Well, I'll have you know I have an undiagnosed heart condition as well. What is the process of Birdie even finding these symptoms?
I realized I lined up behaviors in my head, and I thought, why this isn't something a normal person would do. Normal people don't have these thought processes. What's going on? And so I tried to look into it, and I'm not going to tell you what disorder it is, but I have another mental disorder that I match all of the—
Bitch, you better fucking show me some fucking medical papers. I don't fucking believe a single word coming out of your mouth.
The criteria, and it's like, it's one of those evil—
Also, what is this art? Can you guys see that? Hang on, let me make sure Here, look at this art that I don't think Birdie drew it. This doesn't look like Birdie's style. What is this? Is this like for? Is this for a YouTube video? It looks sick. I like it. I like the style. This is the part where someone in the chat goes, "Oh, that style, you like that? Well, that person groomed 12 minors. Oh, well, that's great. Sure, you know what? I'd love to give them my PayPal."
Users disorders and
This is my point. None of us are professionals, and we're dealing with a serial liar who's still continuing to lie. We don't know what to believe, so don't take Birdie's word without some sort of evidence. You've seen throughout this video that it's happened before. All I'm saying is look before you leap. After Birdie's I'm Back video, his streak of not addressing drama would last 2 days, when he did a collab with his friend Aggress, making a meme post over the Borderline 12.
We're going to do the last chapter, and then we're going to move on to the Synni Bear video.
Which, for those unaware, is a school shooting memorial. Birdie would get a ton of backlash on it, and responded by apologizing multiple times, saying he didn't know and blaming his autism. Some would say a pattern was beginning to re-emerge. During July 2024, whilst playing on the game Ponytown with a fan, Birdie also came across Jay and Julian and had a slap fight with them. It's also worth noting that since his comeback, the art he'd posted was NSFW artwork that was derivative of what he had made of him and Jay. A lot of the audience of the I'm Back video, many of them also being kids during these past situations, decided to take blame for—
Oh, so they wouldn't— oh no. Oh, dude, this is like when Mini Lad came out and just made his video. All these kids, like, you know, people that grew up with him were like, "Yeah, Mini Lad, I want you to get better." It's like, guys, kids, you're not going to understand this now. You're going to understand this down the line. Mini Lad sexted with a 17 and 16-year-old. "Yeah, I support you, Mini Lad. Let's go! Get your mental back on track." It's like, oh boy.
For their actions, and applauded and supported Birdie. Even with a video that has at least 2 glaring issues that don't even need context to poke holes in, Birdie's diehard audience came back quickly. Everyone felt that it was time to move on and give Birdie a big second chance. However, Birdie's I'm Back video had gotten over 600,000 views, and gathered the attention of a fair few people outside the animation meme community who had no idea of any of the history. One of them, Deadwing Dork, made a 5-hour stream basically making fun of the entire video and Birdie's life. In response, Synni Bear jumped to Birdie's defense and posted a 2-part video numbering multiple hours, in which he fought against every part of Deadwing's points. Whilst the details of this are probably for another time, Synni Bear's loyalty to Birdie seemed incredible. Some people would see her apparent stress as she was working 2 jobs to stay financially stable, whilst Birdie did not work and just stayed home all day and collected benefits. He even needed Synni to be his caretaker. He had to be asked to split the rent and still didn't fully agree at first, and when Synni came home, she'd find him just in bed or drawing. Birdie's over-reliance on Synni meant that if she suddenly lost everything, that would be a death blow to his current situation, and as fate would have it, that's what happened.
Oh boy.
Over a number of days in mid-September 2024, 3 Google documents were published regarding Synni Bear. Document 1 was around Synni's strange sexual behaviour around various minors, whilst Document 3 talked about Synni's treatment of a former partner. But Document 2 was the most egregious, detailing the experiences of a 14-year-old who accused Synni of grooming them while she was 21. Whilst there wasn't a relationship, so to say, Synni showed this minor incredible amounts of NSFW for 6 months straight. She encouraged the minor to do the same and got upset when they didn't. Synni even sent an entire hand-drawn essay comic. Some things never change, I guess. At the time of the document's release, Birdie and Synni were on vacation. It was only when they came back and looked at the evidence that the ball started to roll. Synni would—
I'm sorry, guys. Give me a second. I need to blow my nose. Let me just mute my mic real quick.
post a
Thanks for waiting, guys. I am back.
video apologizing for what she did and saying that she was a groomer. Then, the next day, Birdie posted a video confirming that Synni was a groomer. This video, which was secretly recorded while Synni was in the other room, talks about the situation as Birdie claims he had no idea it was ever going on. He also claims that Synni would essay him, grabbing various parts of his body or poking them as a joke, even though he said no. It's worth noting Synni would deny these claims, saying it was all consensual and there was no indication of discomfort. Alongside this video, Birdie also started a GoFundMe for moving elsewhere and escaping, as the benefits were no longer coming in for him. The GoFundMe would reach its goal of $10,000 in a matter of days, and even went above, reaching $11,000. Even after everything Birdie had said and done and all the controversies, he still had a fan base that was willing to donate so much to essentially save his living situation. To me though, it's weird there weren't more questions raised about Birdie's knowledge of Synni Bear's grooming. Knowing someone who turns out to be a pedo is one thing, but being in the same house with them for months, sleeping in the next room or even in the same bed, that's another issue entirely. There wouldn't have even been a time where Birdie was out of work, so their schedules wouldn't have conflicted that much. He was home the entire time. Around this time, Birdie would get into a call with Queen, Synni's IRL friend that Birdie had recently met and became close with. They started to become really good friends, and Birdie would eventually stay over at her house for some time. A few days later, Synni would post another response to the situation, stating that Birdie and others had coerced her to admit that she was a groomer. She responds saying that these sexual themes she discussed with the kid weren't actually that sexual, which is just a blatant
Well, I love that. That is so fucked. I mean, it wasn't that sexual. Like, what? What the fuck does that mean? Bro, what are you talking about? Elaborate, please. Elaborate.
lie, but I mean, how else could you even defend this? This is all for another time though, because this video led up to the fight between Birdie and Synni Bear over the cat. Birdie had recently gotten a cat to take care of, but during his fight with Synni Bear and Birdie getting away, Synni apparently stole his cat, according to Birdie. In response, he broke into Synni Bear's house after this and left a white hat with the words groom on it. Synni would then respond to Birdie, saying that the cat wasn't with him or with Birdie, it was with Queen. Synni was only asking for the cat back because no one else was in the position to take care of it, and legally the cats were in Synni's name because Birdie didn't want to use his dead name to get them. When he broke into Synni's house to leave the groom hat, he stole the cat he was emotionally tied to and took it with him. Eventually, Queen ended up...
Alright, that's kind of... Well, actually... Well, alright. Oh, okay, so Synni... Alright, so Synni took it. Okay. I thought Birdie took the cat, and I'm thinking, oh no. Birdie did that with the ferret. What's she gonna... He fucking goddamn motherfucker. What's he gonna do to the cat? Dear God. Did I not play the video? Oops.
Up as the owner of the cat, which was probably the best outcome we got. But Birdie now had to explain himself. He was under fire for posting lies and had possibly given a groomer a W. Birdie went on Twitter and explained that the accusation from Synni were all false and meant to shift the attention away from her. But the snowball was already rolling down the hill, and people were really starting to look into what Birdie had been up to. Days earlier, Birdie had posted art of him dressed as a character from the animator Zontan, known for his sexual drawings of underage characters aged up to be adults. Birdie claimed to have no...
Alright, I heard underage characters, and I was like, wait, hold on. And the aged up part, I was like, oh, okay. I was like, whoa. And then, just like, oh, okay, alright. We're in the clear.
No idea who Zontan even was, but that was another lie as seen from this Discord message.
Of course.
Being caught out twice in a number of days isn't a good track record for anyone, and his response to the backlash being pill posting was only further indication of that. Seeing the tides turn against him, Birdie decided to leave the internet, saying, okay, I'm sick of being this week's hot juicy drama and having the dehumanization and demonization of myself so widely normalized again. People are scraping the bottom of the barrel for rumors. I'm leaving for a bit. Everyone get your together, this is just like 2017. Time is a flat circle. But the new claims were nowhere near the bottom of the barrel. After such a storied history, so many apologies, so many promises to change that were taken at face value by Birdie's audience, that being then ripped up in front of their eyes would not go down well. It began with the Little Guy controversy, as people criticised Birdie's interactions with a 15-year-old fan of his known as Little Guy. Little Guy was obsessed with Birdie, and Birdie would comment on their posts positively, including ones they made with sexual elements. Birdie knew all too well from first-hand experience what obsession looks like, and was accused of indirectly enabling it by continuing to interact. This seems like a good time to also mention that Birdie would actually reply to people under the age of 16 on a 16+ post he made on his Twitter. You had literally one job, mate. This would spark a mass return of former characters from the Birdie drama, archival and A-loggers, all coming back to reinvestigate the entire Birdie situation. A ton of new evidence was found about old cases that completely recontextualized everything, especially to an audience that wasn't even that clued in on Birdie's history. Even discussing Birdie's modern day antics didn't bode well for him. It seemed as if Birdie was desperately using the $11,000 that were raised from the GoFundMe, spending it on moving apartments, getting away from the groomer who was assaulting him. At one point he said he—
Bro, this dude just fucking sucks, man. Holy shit. Alright, so get a bit of a stretching. Alright, so it seems to me that a lot this clearly Birdie sucks in this situation, and I already know Synni's a fucking groomer and all, you know, the whole 9 yards. So I'm assuming that in this story everyone's a fucking piece of shit, is my assumption.
He was even starving whilst at someone's house, and a friend got him DoorDash to help out. So when he was spotted spending copious amounts of money on My Little Pony merch, you can imagine the backlash from that. And the starvation at someone's house? Well, the house he was staying at had a fridge full of food, and Birdie was just a really picky eater. All excuses and bringing up some disorder or the other were falling on deaf ears, especially when he was making fun of issues that he also had. See on Twitter, where he was gossiping about how messy Synni Bear's room was to make fun of her, but then came in pictures from Queen showing the mess in his room. Remember that one of these people worked 2 jobs?
The cats are slap fighting.
And the other sat in bed all day, drawing and sleeping. By then, a lot of the public opinion turned back against Birdie, after being more favourable to him after his return and the Synni Bear situation. By now, their goodwill had dried up. The story of Birdie tells a blend of greys that we rarely see at all. It's seeing the real-time story of a kid mistreated by their family but also prone to lash out, becoming a child of the internet and a victim to some awful stuff. But soon he was twisting the abhorrence onto others throughout his life, many of the people he's encountered and his own audience itself. It's uncomfortable because it never should have been broadcast. The fact that a 12-year-old was unmonitored online, having a completely massive career with a dedicated fanbase, was always going to end badly. But origin stories and illnesses and disorders only go so far. Everyone has their own issues, but we all have to take responsibility for what we've done. And we do. Birdie has a trail of gross irresponsibility, being malicious and lying. Where do you draw the line between saying he's just a kid and condemning him for being legitimately malicious and manipulative? If I've taken anything away from this video, it's not just an indictment of Birdie. It's better seen as a reflection on much of the animation meme community and its depths. Birdie just happens to be the most severe case of its effects. It still is a place largely absent of parents or adults, a place where these creative kids come to vent about how the world has seemingly failed them. The detailed vents about their personal lives were only encouraged by kids who could relate, furthering personal publication and vulnerability. It's telling that most of the people who've been personally involved and victimized by Birdie have also turned out to be severely messed up in their own right, and documenting every single one of their actions on top of covering Birdie would double the length of this video. None of this diminishes from Birdie's actions towards them, and it certainly doesn't mean that these people were evil all along. A lot of this just comes down to the victim-turned-abuser cycle, and the
Well, I disagree. No, I'm kidding.
animation meme community is an excellently morbid example. Maybe, just maybe, if someone had stepped in when Birdie was still young and recognized the signs of mental distress he was displaying, things could have turned out better. But missed opportunities don't take away that Birdie has done some abhorrent stuff, and he should be held to account instead of being excused and swept for. His consistent cycle of lying,
100% agree.
manipulation, playing the victim, disgusting harassment towards others, his weird interactions with minors, it's all out there. His actions shouldn't be downplayed, but his origins should be a warning light to parents and kids online. His story will continue as long as that delusion and his attachment to the internet continues. Birdie's case is a stark reminder that kids are far better off having normal jobs rather than becoming YouTubers. For all its perceived profits and supposed creative dream, a bird in the hand isn't worth more than a book. Thank you for watching, and until next time, stay toasty.
Absolutely. We love saying toasty here, Mr. Toastify. Again, that was that's not Timeline and Controversies of Animator Birdie. Boy, what a video. Let me tell you. Holy shit. Oh, God. Yeah, Birdie's a fucking freak, dude. Jesus Christ. Again, let me make sure to link the video. I will be linking the video in the Twitter chat as well as YouTube. Make sure to go check it out and watch the parts that we missed. You got quite a bit here. Again, Toastify, The Sins of Synni Bear. Make sure to check out the video. Again, I will be linking it in the chat as well as in the description of the VOD. Make sure to go check out Toastify and tell him Lethality sent you. Let's get down to it. I'm also shockingly far in Mega Bonk right now. Holy shit.
Yes, go.
You go.
No, let's go.
Sick, because I still care about him. I still love him.
You groomed them. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it.
I loved him. Ooh, ah.
I'm hoping that we'll both be able to live a normal life together, and we can help each other, and maybe I can show them the love and understanding that they never got. I was going to make a video talking about a recent document that was released about me. I've been an irresponsible content creator, and I've been acting inappropriately towards my fans.
You hate to fucking see it.
SynniBear03 is a name that's become synonymous with the word degenerate in the last year, thanks to an incredibly high-profile controversy about her interactions with a minor. But how most people have seen her, from her fights over cats or the explicit comments in her DMs, is only a snippet of Synni's online history. Once known as Scootaloo Love Sans, Synni was a part of the animation meme community, and
I wonder if any of my brony friends know who the hell this person is. I'll ask him when I finish stream. That'll be fun.
Presented some of its highest peaks. At only 14 years old, her short videos went viral, one of them gathering over 20 million views. Yet, when hearing of Synni's name, even in a situation directly about her, it's interesting how much she becomes an afterthought in the shadows. It all seems to be more focused on her crazed roommate or delusional defenders. Almost no one looks past the recent events and how her reputation was once as a golden child of her own community. You realise that Synni's story is a perfect painting of a spiral from childhood fame. The many dramas she racked up along the way were mere tremors of what was to come. So, who is, or rather was, SynniBear03?
Boy, it's getting difficult to see now. The Moai.
Cynthia Totsky was born on September 22nd, 2003 in Springfield, Missouri. Her last name sounding so stereotypically un-American stems from her being a quarter Polish, as well as being able to speak some Russian. Cynthia and her family moved around Missouri through her life, going from Springfield to Independence and then to Lee Summit, where she studied in Lee Summit West High School. This single presentation for school from 2018, found out there in the online ether on some forgotten account, tells us some interesting information. Synni claims to have previously worked in a GameStop, and had a vested interest in video games, referencing Zelda,
That's where every kid gets their dream. They're, oh yeah, I want to be a video game developer. But then you get older and you start looking into video game developers and you realize, wow, they don't make a lot of money. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Mario and Minecraft in a mock-up business card. She would later graduate from high school with a diploma. Synni grew up as a Christian, something expected from the American South. From what we can discern, her life at home was still generally stable, although Synni's parents seemed to be more controlling, constantly looking over everything she was doing. When she started a YouTube career, they would set up a bank account that she could put her earnings in, but withheld her earnings from her until she was 18. The family also had some mental health issues, with Synni
I get why, but yeah, actually, you know what? No, I think it's good. I think it's good that they were like, oh, you can get the money when you're, unless they were stealing from her, then it's super fucked. But yeah, it seems so far everything seems normal.
Synni's father and younger brother having ADHD, and Synni herself being autistic. Synni has also attributed some unfortunate incidents to her early life, claiming to have been sexualized by adults and traumatized. Synni had an interest in art from the age of 2, and most likely took up similar subjects in school. However, it wasn't until her dad bought her a computer that she would be able to publicly express that art through the internet. Synni joined both YouTube and DeviantArt in March 2014, but wouldn't be active on either platform until the year after. Being only around 13 at the time, Synni's interests were in stuff that appealed to young girls at the time, and it was the My Little Pony series in particular that captured her imagination. One of the MLP characters would become a basis for her first online name, Scootaloo. Although this might be a little unfamiliar now, old viewers of her will recognise this name far better than Synni Bear. From her start, Synni's understanding of technology seems remarkably solid for the time. Her early videos in 2015 were made with YouTube's video editor, even with the MS Paint she used. Some of them featured stop motion with a toy.
Shit, that's pretty impressive. Stop motion at such a young age? That's insane.
Others were recorded speed paints and eventually full animation. Even her first public video is a short story.
The thing that really sucks about videos like this is seeing the potential in someone so young and just knowing how it fucking ends. And it's just, ugh. You hate to see it.
Story based on a real experience of a friend that she made, moving away and later reconnecting with her online. As per usual, the story is represented by MLP avatars. Synni's online activity would eventually draw her towards an emerging subsect of the wider online art community, driven by a trend of short repetitive animations over specific parts of music or audio. It became what we know nowadays as the anime.
Oh my god, have you guys ever seen one of those? Hang on, let me... Oh god, you know what? Fuck it. We're gonna take some time. We're gonna take a little bit of time. And I'm gonna show you one of these fucking Well, it's not an animation meme, but just so you guys can understand what this shit was.
Gamers, and you can post.
Oh fuck! Oops, sorry about that. It should be. Yeah, found it. This isn't exactly an animation meme. But it's the closest that I can think of right off the top of my head. Check this. And I swear if this gets me claimed, I'm coming for you, buddy. No, I'm kidding. What the fuck did I just knock over? Hang on. Check this out. Like shit like this. This was. I'm on my time. Granted, when was this? Oh man, it was only a few more words ago. Fucking hell, a few more years ago. Jesus Christ, what's going on in my head? But my time is fickle, just like a friend. And with. I mean, this is all like Resident Evil 7 and Resident Evil 7 and 8. Yeah, there's shit like this. This was so fucking cool. I love that.
Meme community, but back in 2016 it was still in its early stages, and a new...
Are there even any people still doing animation memes? It's gotta be, right?
Young generation of artists were coming online and making YouTube channels. Synni Bear would be drawn towards a section of this animation meme community, populated entirely by young tweens who fangirled over the character Sans from Undertale. Synni's arrival wasn't by mistake. She had adored Undertale and Sans in particular before coming across them. And in short, all these fangirls would essentially obsess over Sans, draw him in romantic situations with their OC, mashing up their OC with him, you get the idea. This is where you get the second half of Synni's old online alias, Scoot.
Some good old-fashioned, like, childhood cringe, you know what I'm saying?
Love Sans. But would you know that fangirling is no easy feat? Over time, some jealous individual or ambitious troll would hate raid your video or draw them literally killing your character if you posted about loving Sans too much. Most of these young Sans fangirls would eventually reply with the same tactics. Interestingly though, as a late arrival, Synni went against the grain.
I'm sorry, that's so funny. It's like, well, you know, I'm gonna draw your character killing them, and it's like, oh no, how could you know, please? What?
To not harass or attack anyone, and began to drift away from this small online space. Her inspiration for doing so was a so-called light of happiness within the Sans fangirls, a young animator who, unlike everyone else, seemed to spread joy. His name was Birdie.
Then I came across his one channel, named Birdie the Parrot, Sans' waifu, who eventually renamed herself Birdie. just Birdie. And I looked at her channel,
Oh my
and
God,
I
this
thought,
guy's
whoa,
fucking- oh,
this
no,
is
no,
cool.
no, no, no,
She's
no,
doing
you're
like the
fucking-
opposite of what
Oh,
everyone
dude, I'm
else
doing
is
so
doing.
fucking good,
And she
bro.
has so
Come
many
on.
fans, and people love her. And
Fuck!
then I thought, you know what,
Damn
if
it,
I'm gonna
I
do
got so
this,
far.
I'm gonna do it the right way. I'm not gonna harass anyone, I'm not gonna try killing anyone over the internet, because that's stupid. So if I'm
not gonna try and kill anybody over the internet. Alright.
I'm gonna do what everyone else is doing, I'd better do it right.
During early 2017, Birdie became one of the first Sans fangirls to enter the wider animation meme community, and his animations quickly shot him up to success. Synni felt that he was different from the rest, a beacon of positivity and inspiration, but Birdie had been internalizing these same behaviours he tried to escape, and didn't draw the line of obsession at fictional. Despite his seemingly decent talent for the time, and his videos doing well, fame would lead to a 12-year-old Birdie showing off his violent habits and possessive nature to thousands. He would become obsessed with fellow YouTubers and animators within the community to the point of no return. What didn't help was that the community was mostly populated by people under the age of 15, including Synni, which doesn't bode well with the sexual and suggestive themes shown in some of their videos, only obscured by a frankly useless 13+ warning. Despite all the controversy, Synni was still a big fan of Birdie's work and animations.
Hey, that 13+ warning is a big deal to Leaflet and Nuxtaku, you son of a bitch.
And began making her own.
I'm still coping that those fucking people decided, yeah, we'll let minors in our fucking Discord, whatever.
Animation videos. She would eventually start to gain some traction, and even received a small shout out from her at the time idol.
I have a lot of fans now, and, well, people like me. And I found out that Birdie likes me. Birdie the parrot. I found out, like, a few days ago. She put me in one of her videos, and I freaked the hell out. I was so excited that I could not stop giggling, and my dad thought I was insane.
However, unlike Birdie, whose potential was then pile-drived into the murky waters of personal drama, Synni did the opposite. She locked in, worked on multiple animations, and started pumping them out every week with fairly good quality for them all. Considering she's around 13 at this time, I have to really commend her work ethic here. She's got a better upload schedule than most YouTubers nowadays. The ability to post this much as a young animator is incredibly impressive, and she was rewarded well, as her videos are now some of the most viewed in the animation meme community. Several of them stack up in the millions or tens of millions, with one small MLP animation standing at over 20 million views.
Wow. Dude, I wonder if I'm friends with a lot of bronies and furries. I wonder if any of them like maybe came across that video.
Ladies and gentlemen, the reveal that I have for you. Everyone, witness my face. You happy? Oh my god,
Disgusting.
It's so hot in this mask. Get out of here. Whoa, look at me. Look at my beautiful acne-covered face that I don't add in my character because that's just stupid. Is this better for you guys? Because I don't think it is. I hope this was at least entertaining because I do put a lot of effort into making these videos for you guys without having a strict schedule or, yeah.
After a sum of hard work, Synni had accumulated close to 100,000 subscribers by the end of 2017. Her newfound success got her in contact with fellow animators such as Sleepykin, Kitty Dog, Pastaru, Sashley, and indeed Birdie, as well as Birdie's at the time close friend and partner known as Heimgut. Synni would also enter an online relationship with another girl, an animator known as Ambrixen. Synni didn't just do animations though, she often drew her fans, made speed paint videos, and would also do unscripted rants venting out her frustrations about a particular subject within the animation meme community.
Pretty standard content.
It was rare and very off the cuff, which made her feel more real, but also had its consequences. In June of 2017, Synni fired off an angry comment accusing another animator named Cushley of tracing over her artwork. The tracing claim—
Oh, dude. In any art community, tracing is a big fucking deal, dog. That's like plagiarism in the video essay sphere, dog. Oh god.
claims were true, but instructing her fans to go and yell at her was more of an issue. Synni didn't even realise the gravity of her actions until her dad asked about it, by which point the damage had already been done. She would delete her comment and issue an apology, as well as having a private conversation with Cushley. By the way, if that name sounds familiar, it's because Cushley would later rename her channel to Sashley. Throughout 2018, Synni continued to grow at an almost exponential rate, in what was her channel's most successful period. She grew to almost 350,000 subscribers, and plenty of her videos started to really pop off to the point where they are now. As big of a jump as this seems, it is completely accurate to everything that I can see from the archives. Synni almost became the face of the entire animation meme community, and gained a reputation of a golden child, or the so-called first good Sans fangirl, due to her kind nature, her output, and the fact that she would stray away.
What a title, bro. The first good one. She's one of the good ones.
From many of the toxic traits that define these deranged brats. But that status would come under question when Synni would make a short 2-minute video titled Same Face Syndrome Isn't Real. Synni's main idea was exactly that, arguing about same face syndrome, a criticism made towards artists who either consciously or unconsciously use the same features for all their characters, like relying on a specific face mold. The topic had been brought up amidst a sort of online art hysteria, a bunch of videos warning fellow animators and how to avoid this trap in their work. The one who popularized the term, at least in the animation meme community, was Synni's fellow animator, Sleepykin. And seeing people comment on her posts saying that she was drawing under same face syndrome, Synni became annoyed and created this video, in which she makes the argument that it doesn't exist, and was only popularized by Sleepykin as a way to feed his ego.
Hello.
Wow,
I'm gonna let you
okay.
guys in on a little secret right here. Just close in. Come
Holy shit, come on. Back up.
Same face syndrome doesn't exist. I've been getting on the front page a lot on
fucking
DeviantArt,
bounce,
so my page has now been opened up to a lot of new people, including very stupid people. And because of that, I get comments like, "Oh, they look too much alike. This is same face syndrome." When it's not. I think a lot of this comes from the friggin' Sleepy King video, where he tells everyone, "Oh yeah, you can copy my style, I don't care." And everyone thinks this is same face syndrome, and I'm gonna show you why this is stupid. Same face syndrome was made up by Sleepy King, so everyone will draw the same way he does. You're getting it confused with people who draw adults, children, and elderly, and maybe even animals with the same facial structure. That I've been trying to work on, but these girls are the same age and same species. They're going to look alike. Don't get me wrong, I understand, in real life, if you put two people next to each other, then they're gonna look different. But, if you haven't noticed, I'm a cartoonist. I don't exactly follow rules like that, and neither do a lot of other people. Neither do companies. This is just a stylistic choice, and a lot of people do it. It's one of the easiest ways to tell one artist from another by looking at their style, which may be how they draw.
Yeah, style. Sorry. It's so crazy to think that this, like, to me, as a layman, me sitting here going, "Oh, they have similar faces. Who cares?" But in the art community, it's like, "You son of a bitch! You dare accuse me of such a heinous crime?"
Draw faces.
And it's so justified, and they're like, "It's so justified for me to do this because I don't know."
It's in a lot of cartoons. Why is this now becoming an issue? In conclusion, if you think same face syndrome is a problem, I think you're dumb.
Obviously, there are some problems with Synni's arguments. For one, her claims about Sleepykin were entirely baseless. The advice he gave wasn't that people can just copy him, it was using his methods to find inspiration. Obviously,
I wonder, did she watch the video? Something to consider.
Everyone's inspiration differs with their lives, environment, age, gender, etc. Secondly, Synni's idea of what same-face syndrome was seemed entirely inaccurate. Several sources outside of YouTube called it an actual thing years prior. And the problem wasn't with the character's species or age, it was with its features, shapes, and design. Needless to say, Synni's video wasn't good, and she came under fire from numerous other creators who jumped in to debunk and say their piece that same-face syndrome is in fact real. Other people had an issue with Synni lashing out at random DeviantArt commenters, and she would continue to after the video, even taking a shot at Birdie. Eventually, Synni issued a full apology and retraction, but the damage was already done. Though it didn't cause any significant sub-loss,
I'm starting to notice a pattern here.
you can see from the social blade that Synni's channel dropped off the high she was riding. She went from gaining around 20 to 30,000 subs every month to just 1/6 of that original growth. Synni herself saw a tank in her productivity, and her uploads became pretty infrequent. Even if the drama lasted a few days, the torrential criticism remained ever present in her consciousness. Later, Synni would try again, uploading a new rant video in February 2019 about another of her animation peers, that being Sashly. Amidst all the drama Sashly was already in at the time, Synni posted a video that criticised her art style and habits. To be fair, it's better than the last one, but the video was still controversial. So much so that Synni's subs gained continued to decrease amidst this sub-war the fanbases had made. Synni's video in general seems to have really nothing to go at Sashly for, instead resorting to talking about certain features that she stole that seem like very obvious and popular ideas for anyone. One of Synni's points was about Sashly copying the trends of others, which would hold firm if the community they were in wasn't wholly based on taking animation trends and memes from other people. There's a whole part where Synni criticizes Sashly for not giving background.
Bro, that's so like what? I think just they're just kids, so they think certain things are bigger deals than they actually are.
To her characters, despite Synni not doing the same. Interestingly, Synni also talks about comments that people left calling her a Sashly clone, despite her video being made 2 months in advance.
You know what really boils my piss? I made the Transitor meme, like, a year ago, and both Sashly and Casual Susan both heavily referenced it.
Oh no, I'm about to die.
But, you know, I didn't have a problem with it. They both gave credit in the description. But recently on my video, I got a lot of Sashly fans mad at me because I copied her when my video came out 2 months before hers did. What? There was even someone who went on Sleepy King's Don't Talk meme and said,
"This kinda looks like Sashly's video."
This isn't Sashly's fault, of course, because she left credit. It's just that no one looks for the credits in the description. Also this person.
Someone copied you, but I like the person who copied you better.
Wow.
Damn, okay.
Rude.
Along with the comments on the DeviantArt that sparked the Same Face Syndrome video, we're starting to paint a picture of Synni being pretty sensitive and reacting impulsively. Obviously these people are wrong, but it's like she made the whole video because of them. It's worth keeping in mind she was still pretty young around this time, around 14 to 15 years old, but there's still something up about this, the scale of it and making the video. To me, I feel as if Synni saw that Sashly was under fire with serious claims, and saw this as an opportunity to bring up her personal grudges. These two drama situations showed that Synni was not exactly cut out for commentary. In her video, she really seemed to be grasping at straws and making points that were entirely useless. Her motivations seemed petty or just reactive, sparked by mean comments from random members of Sashly or Sleepykin's audience. Despite the vehement support she would get from her fans in both dramas, it was evident that all she had to do was put the animations in the bag. Eventually, Synni began to realize this, and after going back to posting speed paints and animations, as well as starting her own DeviantArt webcomic, she began to drift away from the Scootaloo Love Sans name. She had gotten so much fame under it, but in the process, had tied it to controversy that kept affecting her reputation. So, in 2020, she took the bold decision to change her name from Scootaloo Love Sans to SynniBear03.
And this is the beginning of the end.
After feeling like the Scootaloo name gave her no respect and just confined her to the idea of a Sans fangirl, Synni wanted to break free from it all. She would also start to disavow some of her previous drama videos. But if her intention was to cut the drama from her name, that idea would soon become null and void. If Synni's drama was hard-hitting, Birdie's was like being run over by a Mack truck. By 2020, Birdie was now known across the animation meme community as this obsessive psychosexual stalker, perennial doxer and harasser, false accusations made against ex-partners, petty grudges, weird relationships, everything, all at the age of just 15. The point is, associating with Birdie now was a lot more controversial than it was back in 2017. He had gained a number of detractors, most importantly for the—
Wait, so in 2020 he was 15, so... So you turned 18 in 2023, okay.
time, Evidence Founder 1, a collective of...
It's so crazy to me that they're so stupid, but like, there are people so much fucking younger than me, bro. I was born in fucking 2000, and then they're like, hey, check all this out. And I'm like, oh, good. Oh, great. I'm getting, yay, I'm getting old. Ah! Oh, wait. Oh, hang on, sorry. We're going to skip this. Let's do, here we go. Let's jump a couple chapters here.
Привет, меня зовут Synni 03. I am now 19 years old.
Through 2022 and early 2023, Synni's online uploads would begin to dwindle. Any videos she did post were either streams or a brief return to her old animations. This mostly seems to be due to personal issues she was having with her family, as well as a focus on her real life. For example, she was now in a new relationship with... Too Mad?
Long time no see.
Just kidding, it's a guy who she reconnected with after last seeing him in middle school. Synni would go on stream and play games with her new boyfriend for a few months. But returning to the point, Synni was dealing with real life, she had a high school diploma by now, and was starting to work. It was actually during this time that she began to return to the rant format she had abandoned so long ago, making essentially commentary videos. These would do decently, perhaps the highlight of them being her coverage on Spoctotech, a once big art commentary channel who had been one of Synni's most vocal critics during her early controversies. Spocta had essentially run off after a call was leaked of him admitting to having sexual interactions with a minor. But what was to be done with Synni?
Why is it always, what a fucking picture to pause on? Why, it just, I just don't understand. It's like, oh, what this, oh wow, this guy was a pretty cool content creator. What happened to him? Oh, he sexed a minor. Great!
These interactions.
You'll love to see it. Fucking jeez.
We ended off the last segment discussing how Synni was interacting in a Discord server and paying more attention to it, and what came of that is worth more than just a mere mention. During late July of 2023, Synni had met a fan of hers known as Peewee or Bugspray, who had posted some pretty good fan art. Synni would compliment her work publicly and quickly sent her a friend request, but this wasn't to discuss commissions, it was to befriend Bugspray. Within a week, they were discussing sexual topics and fantasies, with Synni sending entire fanfictions about herself and Sock's multiple OCs. Synni and Bugspray would enter a sort of relationship. It's never stated outright by either party, but come on. When you're drawing and sending NSFW artwork of... let me check my notes here. Ah yes, farting on each other and planning to move in together, it's kind of obvious. Synni was 19, planning to move in with a 17-year-old who she had allegedly solicited sexual pictures from.
Oh, okay. Alright. Taking a swig of this drink real quick while I fucking eat a 9mm. Holy shit. Jesus fucking Christ, dude. As a 19-year-old, I think it would be a great idea to move in with this 17-year-old. What? Also, I just read the message on the right. Cause male. I'm horny for you, baby. Oh boy. One blank was the other one to nearly beg Synni to come live with her. Sent her photos of herself in her underwear. Well, all right. Well, all right. Let's keep going.
Bugspray would come out and post DMs in November 2023, exposing Synni for being problematic and showing more of her personal details. This included non-consensually publishing these private drawings and their sexual interactions. However, although there were some small rumblings, people didn't really take this seriously. For one, Bugspray's video was flagged down only mere hours after it was up, because she was just straight up showing the artwork uncensored. Bugspray was also criticized for the act of leaking private information and her tone while showing these cropped DMs. The fact that she said she was uncomfortable only after making the video, whilst in the DMs there's no questioning at all, didn't help. Synni would put out a generic statement in response, saying she was aware she was in the wrong and that she wouldn't befriend any minors again. Synni clearly had some really weird lines around people when it came to discussing NSFW topics, and seems to have just plucked a fan out of a server to start dating and showing all this weird stuff. Even well into 2024, Synni would continue to sexually obsess over Sock's characters, and even asked her server, one that had minors in it, for their best NSFW chatbots. Synni—
What the oh my god, dude, what the fuck?
Discussion.
Hey kids, tell me all about your NSFW chat logs. Like, what? Synni, what the fuck are you talking about?
of moving out with bug spray wasn't entirely out of left field, as it was during this time that her fight with her parents reached its utter apex. In a video in late November 2023, Synni explained that she had moved out after her parents had apparently stolen $11,000 from her. Synni's issues with her parents came because she'd wanted to move out for months, and her parents felt that she was just running away from her problems and wasn't ready to move out. The three had a long dispute over the car that Synni owned, and when she went out of state to pick up a friend and roommate, Synni's parents pulled out $11,000 from her account and paid off the car. To emphasize, this is while she's driving a trip that would take around 3 to 4 days to complete, on an old car they had. Synni was now pretty much all alone and had to make it through life on her own way. But what had she sacrificed it for? Who was this mystery roommate she had driven so far for, who her parents said disgusting and nasty
fuck, it's fucking Birdie
stuff about, who they described as a violent person? Well, his name was Birdie. Yes, after so long, and an entire controversy about Synni supporting Birdie, the two had moved in together in the same apartment. This had already been leaked prior by bug spray, showing that they were both in contact with each other, and Synni was driving to pick him up. After months of being cut off, and nearly an entire year of inactivity from Birdie, the two were now roommates, running away from their families. With her life settling down after the chaos she had been through, Synni began regularly streaming again, with Birdie making appearances in the background under the pseudonym of Jimmy. Eventually, Birdie would make his grand return in mid-2024, with a video made to explain all of his history that just kind of obscures a lot of it. But Synni was there playing cheerleader along the way, and even went out of her way to defend Birdie. A fairly large YouTuber and streamer, Deadwing Dork, reacted to Birdie's video and basically made fun of it for a few hours. Birdie and Synni's fanbases would hunt for Deadwing's head, and Synni would make a 3-hour video on Deadwing's whole stream. This is part 1, by the way. Now you can watch this for research. I'm not going to.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
You cannot pay me any amount of money to watch a 3-hour video from Synni Bear. However, from what I can deduce, Synni's whole defense for this video is either to deflect to Birdie's mental health or to accuse Deadwing of victim blaming. Both points have issues. Mental illness is often not a cop-out for everything, especially Birdie's actions, and that Birdie warps a lot of these situations in his response. What's annoying is people watched Birdie's video, and most of them didn't know the context for any of these stories, so they only had Birdie's word to go off of. But Synni did know the context. She was there for most of it and directly participated in it. So I only see this video as just willful ignorance. What happened to disassociating from Birdie due to his actions? Well, it's worth noting that Bug Spray claimed Synni would outright compare her to Birdie, and use her as a sort of substitute for her obsession with him. Now, there is no proof for this, but what we do have is Synni sending over her hand-drawn comics about Birdie, which adds some credence to Bug Spray's story. Furthermore, the aspects of Birdie and Synni's home life were very one-sided. Apparently Synni worked 2 jobs, paid the full rent, bought Birdie a computer, and was also Birdie's carer for his health issues, whilst Birdie was just a bed blob, either drawing or sleeping. There are very few people who would drive days on end for a quote-unquote friend, especially one who they only started talking to recently. Users noted that Synni seemed relatively stressed from how she—
unless you're like, this is so fucked, but like, unless you're desperate for that connection, yeah, it's just, sucks. It's fucking sucks.
She acted on streams, or how she talked in a Discord. Maybe it was her drama with Deadwing, or just the stress of holding up a household. Nobody saw it coming, but Synni's life was nearing a knife's edge, and the world would soon collapse in on her.
The walls are closing in, baby. Alright, we are going to jump a few chapters. We'll do Synni's Dream Team. I believe this is where Toastify starts talking about the content creators who tried to exonerate Synni Bear from, the allegations of pedophilia. Let's do this. Kumo. What's going on? Why is the video playing? Okay, well. Alright, we're going to have to wait for the fucking video to start playing. How you guys doing, chat? Trust everything's going well? Jesus Christ, what is going on with the video? Is YouTube down? Alright, let's pause. Hang on. Where are we? 42, 48. Alright. Okay, now
Users noted that Synni seemed...
Come on, let's actually play where I wanted to do it. Right here.
Obviously, the flaw in this
There we
argument
go,
is what a
hell yeah.
20-year-old would be doing in a high school locker room. Kumo's belief was that this was all a massive...
I'm sorry, what the fuck? Oh, hang on, sorry, we gotta go back. Here we go.
Pushback to the support of Birdie began with a commentary YouTuber named Kumo, who had a history of being an edgy contrarian of sorts in the art commentary community. Kumo began to stream discussing the Synni situation. His argument/crackpot theory stemmed from the fact that Eno pestered Synni for attention for months, and his theory is that Sofa Neko sent Eno as a ploy to frame Synni. He also infamously dismissed Synni and Eno's descriptive conversations as high school locker room girl talk. Obviously, the flaw in this argument is what a 20-year-old would be doing in a high school locker room. Kumo's belief was that this was all a massive operation to frame Synni, and Birdie was mooching off her as much as he could, even to the extent of the GoFundMe. These streams would eventually get Synni's attention, and the two would get in contact. Kumo's defense would provide a basis for the setup of an entire group chat made to defend Synni, which has now been given the name Synni Bear Defense Force. This group chat included Kumo, who we already know. The other major figure here was someone named Romantic Goblin, an aspiring streamer and archivist who used to be part of the art commentary community. She had changed sides to more of a contrarian stance in recent drama, and allied herself with Kumo in order to further her aspirations. Her presence also drew together other members of the group chat, people from her community who were there to give advice. Most importantly, the group managed to get in Synni herself, and they would give her advice on how to move forward. Now, I can't lie, this group chat has some interesting things. For example, Romantic Goblin tried to buy a gun to arm Synni for self-defense, which is incredibly funny.
Okay.
She also wrote up an entire
Alright.
defense draft for Synni that includes her labeling their
Sure,
own
why not?
group as the KKK. However, even within this group, there were underlying issues. People like Romantic Goblin and Evan Do Things wanted to keep the conversations to the group chat, whilst Kumo wanted Synni for himself, so that he could control the public flow of information. Throughout their DMs, Kumo can be seen nestling pretty close to Synni, repeatedly addressing her as a sweetheart. On September 30th, Synni Bear would private her initial admission and issue a 40-minute response defending herself. Synni states that her previous confession was made under immense pressure and coercion by Birdie. So, what was her grand defense? Well, the first 14 minutes are dedicated to addressing the grooming allegations, with the rest of the video going over Birdie, the claims he made, and his personal and financial issues. Synni's defense against her grooming allegations is going on a sort of grooming checklist on some online website, and arguing how she didn't fall under all these specific terms, despite the website itself saying that grooming
so fucking stupid. Like, come on.
May take a number of
You gotta know
forms.
better.
The best part is when she says that she didn't discuss sexual stuff, just sadistic fantasies, before then backtracking and saying she did discuss sexual stuff. She also argues that Eno started it, which is stupid because adults know better than minors around sexual topics, and it is their responsibility to control the conversation when such topics are brought up. The last point of note is that Synni says she doesn't care about Sock's discomfort with how she was using her characters, saying it doesn't matter if the creator is a minor. The next 26 minutes are Synni discussing her frustrations with Birdie's personal life and actions, before breaking down in tears over her love for Birdie.
The fact that I thought he cared about me. I
God.
thought he loved
I will kill and murder for Synni Bear. Yes! Yes!
me. And he says this awful shit publicly. Victory lapping around me. Encouraging people to make hateful art about me. Talking about stealing my intellectual properties for himself to use. Knowing that I can't say anything about it. Because the internet hates me. Trying to silence me once he found out that I was making my video. I feel sick because I still care about him. I genuinely hope he is safe. I still love him. Even after seeing all this. I still love him. I don't know why he's acting like this. I know he has borderline personality disorder, so I really hope that this is just him splitting on me, and maybe later down the line he'll come to his senses and realize that I'm not the monster
I have no sexual interest in Synni at all.
But you,
okay,
okay, let's say that. Go on.
No, actually, I want to take no. Okay, maybe I do have sexual interest in.
Why even lie? Like, come on, man.
Synni, I mean, I'm a straight guy. Come on. So.
Oh my god, even Chud's like, no fucking way. Chud, this is the look of a guy who knows he's gonna make a fuck ton of money off of this drama.
I'm going to walk back on that, but...
Right. So you were trying to use my platform in order to spread your message under the auspices of, oh, I just want your feedback. That's extremely manipulative. And I'm amazed that you think I would fall for that. I'm astounded that you think you could pull a fast one on me like this.
Well, I did want your feedback. And
Who are you kidding?
I know, it's just I thought there were so many offensive videos out there. Why can't there be one video going in the, well, aside from Kumo, another video going in the opposite direction? Like, I was trying to add to
Do you think there should be a video defending Jeffrey Epstein against his crimes?
Jeffrey Epstein, the gay serial killer, right?
No, that's Jeffrey Dahmer.
Oh my...
Jar's terrible video gave the Synni Bear case so much more publicity that it went beyond the animation meme community. If there was any chance that Synni could come back, it had been snuffed out.
Christ, hang on. We are going to finish off with the conclusion. That's the word. We're going to finish off the conclusion, and then we're going to end stream there. I'm a little tired, so I think I'm going to get me a little nap.
As said before in the intro, Synni's whole case was overshadowed by the violently explosive crescendo of her career. It wasn't just limited to these allegations. The amount of people that either threw themselves in the line of fire or just were hit by collateral damage made this so interesting. Kumo, Goblin, almost everyone from their group chat, Birdie and Synni herself are all pretty much gone. Jar is barely hanging on after everyone took his parts away. It's
unfortunately, Jar is back. He's making content again.
easy to forget that Synni was the whole reason behind this all starting, and her story beyond that shows a knocking of dominoes, a moral mainframe fading away. Stepping away from the whole timeline for a second, when I was working on this video, I originally titled this Synni Bear Solitude. In fact, it might still be on the title card. And as cool of a title as that sounds, I scrapped it because it wasn't accurate. To just base this all on being lonely is downplaying it. I think it's far better to say that Synni Bear lived her whole career through a victim complex. Perhaps sensitive to apply that to someone who has apparently been victimized, but that may have been the source for it. Synni spent a lot of her career known as the first good Sans fangirl, a heavy amount of praise that was deserved to some extent, but when she got into her early controversies, she would lose almost every time, and face the heat from the whole community. That heightened sense of self being utterly shattered by her own decisions was something hard to accept for her when she was young. Over time, it's obvious that as she grew up, she grew tired of being held accountable, thinking she'd already atoned by now despite these being different issues. Her humility became hubris, and she became more incentivized to just get rid of this, no matter how. The fact that she could lie and get away with it only strengthened this idea that she was now free from the eyes of the public and later her parents, any authority that would hold her to her actions. Synni felt she could do whatever she wanted, talk to anyone about anything on her mind, no matter what it was or how old they were. Ironically, that aspect of wanting to cry on everyone's shoulder was her undoing in how unintentionally popular it made her case. I still don't think Synni feels bad for what she's done. Her response, the voice clips of her admitting to being in calls with Enno, show a very cold exterior. She doesn't feel bad because she doesn't think she did anything bad, and thinks she's the victim of everyone else. It's astounding to compare the present to back in 2020, when the drama got to a point that Synni felt she had to change her name entirely, the one that she'd become famous under, just to wipe the slate clean and leave the drama behind. But she never would. Instead of overcoming it and moving on, she would hold on to it, merely as a justification for promising herself the future. Thank you for watching, and until next time, stay safe and stay toasty.
An absolute, yet another banger from the Toast Man. Thank you all for coming out. I appreciate every single one of you, especially you, Twitter chat. Love you guys, and appreciate everybody on YouTube. We are heading out.